So let's go ahead and let's check out Josie's shop next. And Josie had some questions. I remember she said something about bilingual and she wasn't sure. Let me see if I can find her. I'm French, so I want to know if it's better to do bilingual listings. And there we go. Your shop banner pops up now. Bilingual listings. I don't know how that works exactly. Bilingual listings. I do think it's a good idea. I mean, if there's a way that you can put both languages in, I think that's a great idea because the keywords don't really they don't really translate very strongly, right? So what I mean, like this one right here, Thermocrisa white coffee mug. Now this looks like a very English written thing, or is it translated? So seeing its original language. So I don't know if they translate the title as well or not, but it's kind of difficult to fully know. I don't know. I would recommend writing it probably in English, but if you're selling to French customers, it would make sense to do French. I don't know. I don't know how this works exactly. I'm not an expert on that. Here's what I would say though: if you can publish the listing with both languages, maybe they have like a spot where you can do two descriptions and it translates it to whatever your language is. That would be great. But for me, I mean, this works fine. Translate to your original language. The challenge is the keywords. If you're listing titles, and that's where your keywords need to go. But if your listing titles translate, they're not usually going to work very well because they're going to just be the translation is not going to get the right keywords, in my opinion. It could, but I kind of doubt it. You're welcome, Melissa. Glad you liked it. So you do the title in English. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the title in English makes a lot of sense because it's not going to translate it very well. But let's check this keyword out right here. Thermocrisa. Maybe this is the brand of this. Thermocrisa white coffee mug. Okay. So this is not a really strong keyword. It's only got 193 results. Now it's all right. But maybe something like vintage. I don't know if Thermocrisa is the brand or the material. But vintage white coffee mug brings up a lot more opportunities with 24,000 results. So that is the brand. Okay. So because it's a vintage item and it doesn't seem like there's a very large market for it, Thermocrisa is a great keyword to have in it because the people that are looking for that, are going to be able to find your items really quickly. However, I would recommend for your first keyword, I would go with vintage white coffee mug, or vintage coffee mug, antique coffee mug, or if you have the decade, you could even say, 1960s coffee mug. And I would put Thermocrisa a little bit farther down in the listing title, and I wouldn't make it my number one. And then the same thing for this one, Pyrex Corning white gravy dish. Let's check this one. New York, USA. So I don't think you need to have New York, USA. You could just do Pyrex Corning white gravy dish. There we go, 186 results. So it's a decent one right there. But vintage white gravy dish, 1,547 results. So that would be a lot stronger. To start with vintage white gravy dish, because it's a much bigger keyword, 1,547 versus 186. So I wouldn't say to delete Pyrex from it because, I mean, it's a good brand, but I would recommend putting it farther down as your second or third keyword instead of your number one keyword. And that's kind of how I'd suggest doing that.